Hey everybody, welcome to NES Tips again this week. We're bringing you Golgo 13 Top Secret episode, starring Duke Togo. That's right, this guy's quite the pimp, as you'll see here in a little while. But before we do that, we gotta learn how to navigate through some mazes. I've made a few maps for you, so let's go ahead and get to the show. Here's some navigational aids for you. You can pause each one of these, and in the meantime, I'm gonna jam out. Now the main thing you gotta remember about this entire game is to pay attention to the storyline. They'll tell you where to go and what not. But on your way going, you're gonna have to know how to attack. One of the best ways to attack is the jump kick. You use this everywhere, and you can use a down attack jump kick as well, which is very effective. If they shoot at you, you can also kick the bullets with your feet and come down on their head with a jump kick. If you happen to get tore up for a second, just turn around and blast them with your gun. Speaking of your gun, you're also going to be presented with first-person shooter scenes. It's a good idea for you to take out the guys on the ground first and then go for the airborne enemies. And speaking of airborne as well, you're also going to be in a helicopter in your very next scene. Go around, stay about halfway on the screen, and just destroy each enemy that comes at you. They'll have enemies coming at you pretty fast, so you'll have to be quick. When you get to the snipe scene, just look all up and down the tower as much as you can. See if you can find it. There's a certain guy you're supposed to take out. But if you can't find him, then I don't know, maybe you should try looking around a tad more. When you return from your venture, you're going to have to find some more people, go through the storyline and whatnot. Because not only are you going to have to deal with the bad guys, that's right, Duke Togo gets to deal with the bad girls as well. You'll get a hotel scene and you get all your energy back when you talk to the young lady. You're going to end up in the Spree River. You'll have enemies like mines and sharks and octopuses. During the first-person perspective, you have to destroy divers. Go towards the top if there's no submarines to get rid of them the fastest. As long as you go down and to the right as far as you can go, you should have no problem finding the base. If you go to the wrong one, not going down and far to the right, you're going to end up in a fake base. But when you get to the proper place, you have commanders. They take 4 shots, just watch their little boomerang object type dealy things. The lasers you can kick back and forth, and you'll end up in a maze. You have to destroy any walls that fall with grenades, and you destroy any enemies. Notice you get grenades back when you destroy those enemies. If you have absolutely no bullets, you can press the select button. Each time you press it, it'll take 1 away from your life and add 1 to your bullets. You can do this up to 10 bullets, and then you're on your own from there. If you get to Greece and feel like you don't have enough energy, walk forward a little bit and back up to find a pack of cigarettes. This will give you all your life back. The first-person scenes are generally the same, and you're also going to run into spots that you're not sure if you can go up in them or not, like this part right here and this blue area. Places where you can go up that are hard to find at first. There's also some jumping women on here that are usually best avoided. The rocket pack guys, jump kick them back and forth to avoid their shots and get rid of them quickly. If you feel like you're getting bombarded with too many enemies, you can always duck into a place real quick. Remember this building for after you get out of the water. Yes, you're going for another swim, and stay towards the bottom when you get towards the hatch so it's easier to get inside. After you go through more storyline, you're going to end up with, guess what? Another lady. You have to fight Spartacus in Greece, but don't worry, he only takes 1 shot. Shoot him when he's not shooting at you and he's on the way down. No problem. Then after that, you're going to have a shooter situation to go through. Once again, nothing new except for some submarines. During the next underwater level, Experiment with going left to try and get through the maze on certain points. When you do finally find the base, you'll find that there's commanders and lasers just like before, just more than there were. You'll eventually end up in a first-person maze where you have to find a key and a book and able to get through it, which will eventually lead you to Rio de Janeiro, and you will be brought to the Fangbacks building. In that building you'll find lasers that are invisible. You can get through them, but you might get hurt, so you want to try and locate some goggles. Once you got those, you can see exactly where they're going. It's really hard to do, but if you wait for pauses, you can run straight through them. Once you get down deep enough, you'll find your M16. Work your way back out and head for the Amazon. The Amazon is yet another kind of maze, with jumping women and rocket pack guys this time. Do your best to avoid them and look for a bunch of trees that look like this to push up in. Be careful of the first-person shooter parts on this. It's very difficult and will take your energy away quickly. It's very hard to explain how to do this, you just gotta react, pretty much. Find this area to get out of the Amazon and you'll end up in another Amazon. This time it's the river. Swim through that and end up at Act 9, where you can do the exact same thing as in Greece with the cigarette trick. On the first-person shooter scenes, do the same thing. Attack things on the ground first, so get those tanks first before anything else. And the rocket launcher guys, treat them the same. Same with the commanders and lasers. Go through until you get to yet another shooter scene, except this time, it's dark out. It has the exact same enemies. It's very repetitive up to this point. You'll end up at the South Pole, in which you have, what? More of the same. Don't worry about it though, it's not too difficult. Destroy each enemy as they come to you so you don't get overwhelmed, and then you'll end up going through a very small maze. And you'll end up meeting the mastermind of the entire operation. What? No! Stop it! Man. Anyway, after controlling Golgo 13's hormones, you're going to have to fight a fake Golgo 13. This guy can be beaten the same exact way as Spartacus, but he's going to take 3 shots instead of just the 1. When he flashes, you hit him. On his 3rd one, he'll fly backwards. Pretty easy fight. You'll have a maze to go through again. It's very short, just as short as the last one. There will be another short side view base to go through, and then you'll be back underwater. This time experiment with going left, right, up, and down, all different directions to find the base that you're actually looking for. When you do find it, you'll be at Act 13. This is the very final portion right before the boss, and it's not that difficult. Just jump kick back and forth like usual. And you'll end up at Smirk. Look at that, he's a brain. The way you want to fight this guy is pretty simple actually. When the clones first pop out, take one of them out. You shoot them, and then when they come closer to you, shoot them in the hip. Once their hip disappears, a head will appear and fly at you. Destroy that. After you destroy one of them, go up and destroy each one of the cloning devices. After you take those 2 devices out, or 3, whichever one it is, go down and destroy the clones that were left out of those. Once you destroy those guys, you'll be able to move on to the next set. Repeat this procedure for all 3 different sets that you run into. After those are destroyed, you'll have to go over by the door, and there will be 3 different moving camera-like things shooting at you, and you just pop them all off. Not too difficult. Go over and snipe out Smirk. And that wraps it up for yet another NES Tips. This game can be pretty fun, you just gotta get used to it. It's also great being the pimp that is Duke Togo. Hot feet so hot it hurts. Duke really should look into wearing shoes more often.